Hey everybody, Hernke here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, all the way from Orlando, Florida. Was with her and Todd. I put her through the ringer in that movie, but she is so sweet. Savannah Grace Elmer, very talented actress. Thank you for coming out today. You've been here for about a month now, is that right?
Yeah, just over a month, and I'm leaving tomorrow.
She's leaving tomorrow. It's like she was here today, gone tomorrow. What's going on here?
I know.
So what brings you out here? What were you doing out here for a month?
Yeah, so I was a part of an acting conservatory where it was 9 young people. It was a youth conservatory at AFTA, and they run a program. They run a program for adults and for youth. So I was part of their youth program, and it was 4 weeks long, and then we had a showcase at the end, and it was basically all about... We took a bunch of acting classes, we learned a bunch about the industry, a lot about the business side, a lot of things that other people don't teach you, and it was just extremely educational. And we had our showcase, and we had to do like these 10-minute long scenes. We had partners, it was really fun, and I made a lot of really good friends through it, and just met a lot of really great people. So I'm really thankful to be able to be a part of it.
That's good. So these scenes that you did, they give them to you, and then you had like a certain amount of time to prepare them with your scene partner? Is that how that worked?
It depends. So we were given scenes throughout the program, and some of them would be like, learn the night before and bring it to class tomorrow. But our 10-minute long ones, we were given scenes from plays, and we had to basically learn them on our own over the course of about like 5 days, and then we started working on them with our different coaches. And so like the one hard thing is when you're working with a bunch of different acting coaches, you're getting a lot of different opinions from, I'm telling you this and I'm telling you this, so you're like, oh my god, who do I listen to? But I kind of just went with whatever resonated with me the most and with my character. So then over the course of like the last week and a half, 2 weeks, that's what we worked with, our 10-minute long scenes, and they just grew so much, and they were taped, so hopefully I can get them out on the internet. I don't have them yet, the whole like 10-minute long ones from when we performed them, but I think it went really well. And they've just improved so much just over that such a small amount of time. But it's because we were doing classes from like 9 to 5 each day, so it was an intensive, but it really paid off.
Were there any agents or managers in this audience watching you do your performances?
I'm not sure. They told us that they were inviting whoever they could, and originally our showcase was supposed to be on a Sunday, and it ended up being on a Wednesday. So I think originally they were gonna have more industry people come, and then because it was a Wednesday and because they like changed it up, I don't think as many people ended up coming, but it was completely like full because all the students from the adult program came, because the adult program was about 20 students and our program was 9 students. And then just like some family and friends and a couple of our teachers, and I don't know if any industry people came. I guess maybe they slipped out, I don't know, but that was kind of the idea. And even if they weren't coming, the industry people, we're showing them those scenes we did, and that's what like the directors of AFTA, they are going to send them out to like the connections they have with people, because those are the scenes we workshop with them, and they're like, this is the work that this student from AFTA put into our program. So that's what they're going to send off to the different connections they have.
And what is your favorite scene that you did that you hope, this one I want everybody to see? What was that one?
I really loved the scene I ended up getting for the showcase, the 10-minute long one. We did a couple like other scenes that were from like projects that hadn't even been announced yet, because a couple of our teachers were like casting directors and stuff, so they had like unreleased projects and stuff. So that was fun, like, oh, this isn't even released yet. But I did a scene from the play Jailbait, and it was it's a pretty, all of our pieces were pretty like deep shows. So like my one was, it's 2 15-year-old girls, and they're ready to go out and pretend to be 21 at a club where they meet older guys, and then they like do stuff with the older guys, and then the older guys like find out, and it's just like, it's a big like thing about like predators, and there was just like a lot of like deep like stuff mentioned in the play.
Yeah,
so
stuff that's very relevant and real today.
it is, yeah, it was extremely real. So, and I really loved, and my scene partner was another girl, Nikki, and I love her so much. And I think our roles like suited us very well because mine was kind of like the oh come on, like let's do it. Like I've been to the club before. You're gonna have so much fun, and like I'm like the more experienced one, and she was like more of the prude and scared, but I was trying to get her to come, and I just like, it was just a really fun, the scene we did, even though the show does have a lot of deep content, the scene we did, I was like doing her makeup the whole time, and I was getting her ready, and it was just so sweet, and like that was such like a bonding experience for Nikki and I, because I got to like do her makeup, and we just became so close through that as well.
That's good. Well, hopefully you two can do a film together someday too.
Yes, so I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I know there are some things in the talks about us doing the play at some point, in either here or New York, about us actually putting the play on through AFTA, which they have, not through AFTA, but it's the directors of AFTA, they have the production company. So they would put on a double feature with another play that we did with the 10-minute long scenes and Jailbait. So we've been in the talks about that. So it'll be really interesting, and I would love to do the whole show because we were given the whole plays, even though we just did the 10-minute long scenes. We were given the whole plays, and I read the whole play, and I'm like, this is just a really good show.
Have you had theater experience before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I started with community theater when I was around 7 and 8, and then when I was around 9, I auditioned for Matilda, the musical. And then I got Matilda musical, the Broadway National Tour, and then I turned 10 in rehearsals, and then I did the show for 6 months when I was 10, and then I came back to Orlando, and I did a bunch more shows, like the Orlando Repertory Theater, and the Garden Theater, and the Winter Park Playhouse, a lot of like really good theaters there. They're probably like the best theaters in Orlando, so I'm really happy I got to work with them. And I did a lot of shows, and then I kind of just realized, like, I think acting is my main thing, and I have a big love for theater, and because I haven't done a show since like 2019, which was Billy Elliot, I would like to do another theater show again, but I kind of just needed a break from it, I think, because I was like, one, there is a bit more drama in theater than there is in just film and TV, which is another reason I like film and TV, is like, especially like, I don't think even in all my time of doing film and TV, I've met someone extremely competitive. Everybody is really always just trying to help each other. Right, and that is the case with a lot of things in the arts, but I just think theater, it's a bit more competitive, and I just don't like that as much, but I do love theater. And I think you just need to find the right people to do it with. And now I just focus on acting, but I can sing and dance, and I play instruments, but it's just acting is my passion, just plain acting. Yeah.
That's good. And when you got started when you were 7 years old, right?
Yeah.
In the theater, was there any like actresses, or when you watched a movie when you were a kid, like, I want to do what they're doing? Is there anybody that's inspired you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, probably my biggest one around probably when I was 7 was definitely Amy Adams, because Enchanted, and still is like one of my favorite movies, Enchanted, and she's like singing and dancing and doing everything in that movie, so I've always like looked up to Amy Adams for that. And then I've also really looked up to Angelina Jolie and Sutton Foster, especially like her like theater background. More recently, and this is something we've worked on in AFTA, is kind of like figuring out who our inspirations are and people we want to be like in their careers and their types. So I've kind of, more recently, my inspirations are like Elizabeth Olsen, Amanda Seyfried, and Michelle Pfeiffer. I also really like Winona Ryder, people like that. So, but I still forever always look up to Amy Adams and Angelina Jolie and all those people, because they're just so talented.
Yeah, Amy Adams is very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
You'll work with her someday.
Oh God.
Yes, you will.
I hope
Put it out there. You're gonna work with her someday.
I manifest it. Yes.
So what was your first film role? And where was that? In Orlando too, when you got your first film role?
My first film role, well, my first, which one? I did it. I've done 2 features in Orlando, but my first like short film I think was it was at Full Sail, and I did a lot of when I was first starting out doing more film and TV. I did a lot of things at Full Sail University, and then I did some Valencia stuff and some UCF projects. So a lot of like college projects. My favorite school I think I've worked with is Ringling College. They have won a lot of awards. They have a really great program. I've done 2 different shorts there. They have a really great program. But my features, it was Always With You, which was like a faith-based movie, and we reshot it as, or it might have been the other way around. It was Legacy of Love and then Always With You. So they basically reshot it and made it like 2 separate movies. So one of them was Legacy of Love, one of them was Always With You. And then I did Todd, yeah, Todd was so amazing because it was definitely like my first time working with like really professional actors because on Always With You I didn't work with like as many adults and stuff, but Todd was, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about just like when we were just like in the trailer and like taking silly photos and like it was just such a great project, and like you guys were so nice to me. Like all the adults were so nice to me because I think I was 13.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so welcoming, and I loved like being a part of that movie because everyone was always like keeping me. They were just like, "You're so talented and keep doing this," and I was like, "Okay, yes, like you're motivating me right now." So
that's right.
Yeah, I have a big love for Todd.
Didn't I give you like Capri Suns too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he would always keep the Capri Suns for me and be like, "Hey, I saved some for you. Like, just like I hear they are in the fridge. Don't let anybody else take them. They're just for you." And I was like, I love.
Yeah, because it was like
favorite drink.
It was wicked, like, hot and humid every day we were doing it. You know.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida. And that's something I love about here. Is the weather. Yeah. Like, because I just know right now, because right now if I'd be in Florida, one, it's like 90-something degrees, but also you step outside, it's so humid, and I just step outside here, and I'm like, fresh air.
It feels warm, but I'm not sweating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's like a breeze as well. Like, there's always like a bit of a breeze wherever I go, so, yeah. I really like LA.
And if I was to do Todd all over again, I totally would do it all over again. Because I loved working with all of you. Yeah, it was such a great cast, and I think everybody was just really in it together. It felt like such a close crew, and like everybody was just, okay, yes, this is a team project, this is a collaboration, and those are the best projects. It's not when everybody's doing everything separately. It's a collaboration. That's what goes into a film. You have all these people doing all the different roles, but it's all for one thing, and that's what makes it a collaboration. That's right. Yeah. Well, we had a very intense scene in Todd where we had a couple of them, but the big one, we're in the living room, and it's you and Aaron Jackson and Rhonda. You were terrified. Yes, because you had just kidnapped me. Yeah. Well, you took me hostage, and you're like, let me into the house, and then I let you in the house, and then you're holding all of us hostage, and that was. Honestly, that was just such a great scene because I know at the time you were very method and stuff, but you were always just I love the fact you were just always so kind to me, even no matter what. So then you would just be very kind to me, and then you'd be like, okay, I just have to prepare for this, and then you'd be you go into the scene and you're just so intense, and I don't you were just Todd was just a great role for you, I think, and it was just that scene was, oh my gosh, yeah. Well, how did you, when we're doing the scene with you guys sitting on the couch and you're terrified, what thought process do you have when you're doing an intense scene like that? Yeah. Well, I honestly really just have to think about, my real life and, what terror I would be in if at any moment anybody in my family could die, because that was my family. So I'm thinking about, my real family, my mother, my dad, if any of them could die at any moment, if I could die at any moment. And I was just thinking about I don't want it to be me, I don't want it to be them, but I'd rather it be me than them, and that's why I almost wanted to protect them, but I know my parents, obviously in the scene, they were trying to protect me, and they're she's just a child, and and it's just I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where you have to think about those kinds of things happen.
those things happen in real life, and you just never know. Like, sometimes I just think about it, and I'm like, we could just die someday. And that's kind of the terror I had to think of, because that's so scary to me. Like not that necessarily death is scary, it happens, but just to think like, wow, like something could just be taken from you all in one day. Somebody you love could die. So I just have to think of that kind of terror and fear I'd be in. And also, like, the fact that I was like, we're being held hostage and this guy just kidnapped me. So, like, again, what terror I'd be in as a young girl. So I had to think about that. And, yeah. And thankfully I was surrounded with really great actors that kind of helped me stay in that as well.
Yeah. Aaron and Rhonda were really good in that scene. And I remember that was being like, what, 9 pages, right? 9 pages?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Travis was like, how many can you do? It's like 3.
But you had like all of it. I had like maybe like 2 lines. I was like, but because it was mostly like the parents were like, they were just trying to protect me. But yeah, you had to memorize all of that. That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
Speaking of memorization, what is your trick to memorizing?
Yes, thankfully it is something that does come very easily to me, but it's because I always just think of it as a response, and it's, what are you responding to? And it's like, I have to think about, they're saying this, okay, what is my response to that, and what is my character's response to that, and like, and also kind of just knowing your lines first and then going into the responses, and that was what helps you with kind of like your timing. But yeah, and I would say just say them out loud a lot. Just say them out loud. Keep saying them out loud, because you can read them on a page, but that's hard. You just have to keep saying them out loud and saying them out loud. And like, that's what it took for me to get my 10-minute long scene memorized, because I was just like, we just kept reading it. And thankfully, like, my scene with like Nikki, it was all kind of very like, I'm asking this, you're answering this. She's asking this, I'm answering that. So it's always and even if it's not an answer and a question, you have to think of it like that. What are they asking? Or what are you answering? Like, it's just a response, because acting is reacting. So you're reacting to what they say, because the main thing is to be engaged with your scene partner more than anything. So
yeah, do you ever look for like trigger words in the lines that they say, which triggers your next word, or there's a key word in your line that answers the question in their line?
Yeah,
I do that too.
Because it'll be like, so this word, and you're like, oh, blah blah blah, that word. Like, it's usually it's there's always those little things that kind of correspond with each other that I don't know, that are seen in the dialogue a lot.
Yeah. So, would you like to live out here?
Absolutely. I've always dreamed about like living in LA, and I think now, after especially like discussing it with my family, my mom really likes it here, and my dad has been here before, he likes it, and it's also just, it's not too different from Florida, but it's like Florida but better in a lot of senses. There's a lot more scenery, and we're still like as close to the beach. I like the beaches better, and also, again, we don't have the humidity, and there's also so much access to the film world, like, just in a sense, because I don't want to think like, oh, I'm just moving here for film. Like, there's so many things I like about here too, but again, the industry, it thrives out here. There's all the sound stages and the lots and the managers and everything, and it does make a big difference if you live out here. So that's just one plus. But I also just really like California. I've always liked the idea of living in California, and yeah, I don't know, it's just, I would also think like change is good. So I would just really like to come out here and just live the different lifestyle, because I just really like it. I feel like living out here, a lot of like the LA lifestyle just resonates with me. Like, I feel so at home here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is there any particular area that you would like to live in? Because I know you visited Burbank. And
yeah, Burbank is beautiful. I really like being like right here in the city, but it's obviously not the most like, it's not the nicest, but I really like this area, like, because it's not like downtown LA, like where I am right now, like, it's a nice area and it's fairly quiet, and I've just really liked living here. But I think somewhere like Burbank or Sherman Oaks, somewhere that's accessible and like nice and quiet, but still very close to everything I need to be close to, That's probably the most ideal. And because also, like, as long as it's kind of still like within like the same area, like Burbank or Sherman Oaks, it's still like pretty close to the beach and stuff. And I would love to live by the beach, but I think if I'm gonna make the move, I want to be as close to everything that I need to be as close to as possible, because why make the big move and still be as far away? I want to be as close as possible. But if I could live by a beach, my favorite beach I've been to is Venice Beach. I really like Venice Beach, and I like the vibe and kind of like the bohemian sort of feel of it. But yeah.
Did you go on the swings? The ring swings?
No.
In Venice Beach? I did that one time, and those will tear your hands up if you're not careful.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That
It's
sounds
really,
fun,
and when you watch people do it, you're like, that looks really fun and that looks really easy. And then you try doing it, you try swinging and try grabbing for the next one. It's hard. And if you grab wrong, like your hands will be all red. So if you ever try doing it, make sure you wear like, like gloves you wear to the gym.
Yes.
Wear grip gloves when you do it. But it's funny. It's like you're swinging around like a little monkey.
Thank you for the advice.
Yep.
I'm so prone to like blisters or anything. Like no matter where it is, I just get blisters or anything anywhere.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I know, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going in the future, do you have any, you mentioned the play, do you have any other film projects lined up?
Yes, I have a short film right now for the OIF, which is Orlando Independent Filmmakers, that I have right now. I might have possibly more projects in the OIF because a lot of the same people work with each other. And then I have a feature that is supposed to be filming around like October. And it's called Sebastian, and that's with some good people that I've already worked with previously, and they're supposed to be on the project, and that's going to be filming in Florida as well. So as far as I know, that's going to be filming in October. So those are kind of what I have in the horizon right now, but I think I'm probably going to be doing more OIF projects just because like again, like a lot of the same people work with each other, and like last time the OIF challenge, I did 3 films. So yeah, and I hope I have even more to come up. And hopefully, what one of my main goals coming out to LA is to get LA representation. So hopefully, if that comes to happen, that I can get more auditions with the West Coast stuff that I haven't been getting because I only have a Southeast agent right now. So if I get West Coast management, then I can get the auditions here that I haven't been getting. And so hopefully that gives me a bigger chance of getting work out here. Mm-hmm. So that would be really great.
Bi-coastal, right?
Yeah.
Bi-coastal? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so in closing, do you have any information, any info, words of wisdom that you would like to tell our audience, any aspiring actresses out there that want to jump in the industry? Because you started off very young.
Yeah.
And that's good. I started off young too, and it's always good to start off young, and you learn as you go. So, yeah. Feel free to...
a lot of the time, first of all, acting classes. Classes. Training is the most important thing. You can't just go into acting and be like, oh, I want to audition. No, you need to train. And that's what I do. Yes, I get auditions occasionally, but the main thing I do is train all the time. And I just keep on training because you have to keep up. That is your craft, and you have to train to be good at your craft. And the other thing is, a lot of people say that like theater and film very different, and they shouldn't be combined, and you can only do one or the other. I think it's really important if you're going to film, you should also have a theater background, or at least try doing theater, because you need to get the aspects of both. Because things like a multicam show, things like that, are a theater background is great for things like that, because the timing for multicam shows are just like with theater. So theater and film, they do work together. Because I know so many times in my industry I've been told like, oh, like if you do theater, you're going to be too big, you're too expressive, and you're too loud. And since I've done like film and TV, I've been like told like many different things, obviously, but like especially like through this program I just did, I've learned so much about how like they really do connect with each other. It's not two completely separate things. There are so many things you can learn from each theater and film. It doesn't even matter if you're singing or not, just like plays or anything. They all connect. Like every aspect of acting connects, and it's good to know all the different aspects. You shouldn't, and even if you don't have access to theater, maybe just like research and like just educate yourself so you know all the different types of acting, because they do work together. And a lot of the times you're told like, oh, theater is too big and film is too small, but they work together. At the end of the day, they work together, and just train, and you have to have the goal. Like, you have to have the goal, and that is to get where you want to be and be as successful as you hope to be. And that is the very end goal, but you're going to hit so many milestones on the way there. Like, I've hit so many milestones that are so far from my end goal, but I just keep working, because also being an actress, it is so easy to get discouraged, because audition, you don't get it. Audition, you don't get it. Audition, you don't get it. Audition, you do get it. That's great. Celebrate the little victories, and even if you don't book for a really long time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad actor. It doesn't mean anything to do with you. There are so many actors out there, and if so many of the big actors got discouraged before they got famous, then they wouldn't be to where they were now. So you just have to keep on working and not get discouraged, and just currently train to keep getting better, because you're never going to just know everything. You always have to keep training, because you're never going to know everything. You're always going to have a little something more to learn. So that's my 2 cents.
Very well said. Performers, take note from Savannah.
Thank you.
Savannah, thank you so much for coming out
I'm so happy to be here.
and being on my little YouTube channel.
Yes.
And we want to also put your work in the description below. So if you want to check out what Savannah's doing, it'll be in the description below. And do you have a YouTube channel too?
Oh gosh, I haven't used YouTube in a while, but I use like Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
Okay.
Not so much YouTube anymore. I have like my IMDb, put my IMDb in there, and my website maybe. I don't know.
All right, yeah, all that's gonna go in the description below. Promise.
Okay.
Thank you again. Yeah, it was awesome having you. There we go. Good to be reunited with a fellow co-star. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the notification button below for more interviews and more great content coming up. This is Hernke signing out. Savannah Elmer.